Greetings to all my brothers out there. There's got to be a better way. Diddy's daughters are going through it right now. They already lost their mother, rest in peace to Kim Porter, but it's looking like they're about to be losing their father forever. And according to these reports, they burst out crying in the courtroom. They couldn't take the pressure as Diddy waved goodbye, possibly forever. They'll never see their father again without an orange jumpsuit on, if they put him away for the rest of his life. And seeing how his daughters teared up in court, it's looking like that's going to be the case. So sad, man.
Miss Janice, how you doing, Miss Janice? Miss Janice, it's me.
All mama's a mama, guys. All mama's a mama, guys. Get off that screen. All mamas love their kids. All mamas love their kids, guys. All mamas are mama, guys. All mamas are mama, guys. We gotta respect mamas. You know what I'm saying? She loves her son.
It's looking like this is the end of it, man. There's no coming back from this. To see them coming out the courtroom with those long faces, everybody sad, and Diddy's sons looking like they gave up on life. Diddy's daughters, who've avoided appearing in court for most of his federal trial, are right behind him for closing arguments. And the emotion of the day is showing on their faces, and seeing how distraught his daughters was in court caused a lot of other people in there to break down crying as well.
Welcome back to Live Now from Fox. I'm Sinead Francine. Right now, we want to transition to your top stories and headlines as it relates to the very latest of the Shawn Diddy Combs sex trafficking trial. It takes us out to the Big Apple, giving you a beautiful skyline shot out in New York City. We're learning Shawn Diddy Combs' attorneys are set to give their closing arguments today in his sex trafficking and racketeering trial. Prosecutors delivered theirs yesterday. We want to check in now with Fox 5 New York's Briella Tomasetti, who joins us live this morning at the federal courthouse in Lower Manhattan with more as Week 7 wraps up. Briella, good morning.
Sinead, good morning to you. And those closing arguments from prosecutors lasted nearly 5 hours long. They described Diddy as the leader of a criminal enterprise who abused his romantic partners and employees. They said he was able to get away with it because of his money, power, and influence, and urged the jury to finally hold him accountable for his actions. Assistant U.S. Attorney Christy Slavic took the lead for the government, trying to convince jurors that Diddy's inner circle aided and abetted his schemes. She listed all of the charges against the 55-year-old rapper and laid out what has to be proven for each one for a conviction. Now, to convict on the racketeering rap, for example, which carries a maximum sentence of life in prison, the jury will need to find that Diddy was the kingpin of an enterprise that plotted at least 2 crimes. They were shown photos of alleged arson, plus pictures of guns and illegal drugs recovered in raids at the rapper's mansion. To convict on the 2 sex trafficking counts, which each carry a minimum 15-year prison sentence, the jury will have to agree that both Cassie Ventura and an ex-girlfriend who testified under the pseudonym Jane were coerced. Slavic once again showed the jury the disturbing video of Ventura being beaten and dragged down a hotel hallway after she allegedly tried to leave a freak off early as evidence of forced sex trafficking. Prosecutors also tried to prove that Diddy knowingly transported people across state lines to engage in prostitution through testimony from male escorts and credit card statements. That charge carries a max sentence of 10 years in prison. The defense didn't call any witnesses, but rather used cross-examination to try and undermine the case, arguing that while there was domestic abuse, Diddy did not commit federal crimes, and Diddy chose not to testify on his own behalf. The defense will deliver closing arguments this morning, followed by the prosecution's rebuttal. Diddy didn't show much emotion in the courtroom yesterday. He did turn to the jury for a moment. He watched them very carefully. He passed notes to his attorneys. He also turned to his family, who was sitting in the gallery. He gave them a thumbs up and he acknowledged them. Another thing to note, his mother and sons have been attending this trial on a regular basis, but Diddy's 3 daughters returned yesterday after not having been here for weeks. For now, we're live here in Lower Manhattan. Gina, back to you.
His daughters haven't been in court for weeks. They've been trying to take their minds off of it. And when they went back to court, they just couldn't take it. It's killing them on the inside because they know they're going to have to deal with the mistakes that their father made for the rest of their lives, even though they never committed a crime. People still going to hold them accountable for what Diddy did.
Now to the prosecution's closing arguments in the sex trafficking and racketeering case against Shawn Diddy Combs. Jurors in the Manhattan courtroom hearing a systematic rundown of the evidence and allegations against the mogul, who denies all charges. And just a warning, this story contains accounts, descriptions, and visual content of actual or alleged events that some may find disturbing. Today, federal prosecutors in New York wrapped up their case against Shawn Diddy Combs in the explosive trial that has captivated much of the world.
The case against Shawn Combs has been heart-wrenching, shocking, disturbing.
It's been more than 6 weeks of sexually explicit, graphic, and emotional testimony, with 34 witnesses taking the stand and over 1,000 exhibits.
We saw a different side of Shawn Combs, not the mogul or the rapper or the industry leader, but someone who had very disturbing tendencies towards women and the people around him.
Combs is charged with sex trafficking, racketeering, conspiracy, and transportation to engage in prostitution. He has pleaded not guilty. Combs' family and friends by his side in the courtroom today, including several of his children, his mother and longtime confidants, standing by the disgraced media mogul as the case nears its end.
Courtroom was packed for the closing argument by the prosecutor. For the first time since the beginning of the trial, all 6 of Shawn Combs' children were there. His mother, at one point, he gestured to the family row, urging them to squeeze together to make room. And when Shawn Combs entered court, he put a hand over his heart, a gesture of love and affection towards his family.
Combs recently exercised his right not to testify in his own defense, telling the judge that
shit's sad, man. Y'all know he loved his family. And he got the little baby. He ain't seen her in a while, man. Yo, if she show up to court and she run over there and hug her dad, man, I ain't trying to get emotional about it, but come on, man.
That's my decision with my lawyers.
He seemed very calm, relaxed, in his powder blue sweater and button-down shirt underneath.
Today, the prosecution spent nearly 5 hours trying to convince a jury of 8 men and 4 women, ranging in ages from 30 to 74, that one of hip-hop's most acclaimed figures coerced women into drug-fueled sexual marathons with male escorts known as freak-offs.
The prosecutor asked the jury to imagine being a woman in this situation who was forced to have sex for hours in uncomfortable positions while they might have a urinary tract infection. This was painful, and prosecutors said it was unwanted.
In their final push, prosecutors aimed to show Combs orchestrated travel across state lines, presenting flight records and invoices as evidence that Combs coordinated cross-state travel for sex workers, aiming to prove he was running a criminal enterprise. Diddy's defense arguing the sexual encounters were consensual and not coerced, saying the rapper lived a swinger lifestyle. Combs' defense attorney, Tenny Garrigo, said in her opening statement that may not be what you like to do in your bedroom, but you're not here to judge him for his sexual preferences.
Your level of freakage is not my level of freakage. Our level of freakage is not Diddy's level of freakage. But at the end of the day, everybody have a sexuality.
She later added, being a willing participant in your own sex life is not sex trafficking. As part of the prosecution's exhibits, the jury heard a voice memo from Combs to an ex-girlfriend and one of the women accusing him of sex trafficking, who testified under the pseudonym Jane. Prosecutors say the message exhibits Combs allegedly pressuring her into sex by threatening to withhold financial support.
I ain't trying to go back and forth with no woman, you know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, I ain't got no time for games. Me and you can be mad, I can have a spat, we can have whatever, then after that you better get on your job.
The prosecution also calling Combs The leader of a criminal enterprise, he doesn't take no for an answer. The defendant used power, violence, and fear to get what he wanted, adding, "It's his kingdom. Everyone was there to serve him."
In its closing argument, the prosecution was able to focus the jury on what they say is the strong evidence that Shawn Combs sex trafficked women, and it was a devastating portrait.
Over the weeks, the jury heard from former employees, insiders from the music industry, and close associates.
In the middle. Kanye West.
The high-profile trial also drew major star power, with Kanye West making a brief courthouse appearance, and big names like Usher and Michael B. Jordan mentioned throughout testimony. Kid Cudi even took the stand to testify. Diddy was once at the pinnacle of the music industry and pop culture, but cracks in Combs' glamorous mogul persona began when his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura filed a civil lawsuit against him in 2023, which was settled the next day for $20 million without admitting wrongdoing. Then, 6 months later, this graphic, abusive video from a hotel surveillance camera, footage that would later be used as evidence in court. Though Combs first denied all wrongdoing, after CNN released the video, he put out a statement on social media.
I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable.
But for Combs,
They said after he made the apology video, he whooped somebody's ass the next day. That's what Jane Doe testified.
that was just the beginning. The details of that civil lawsuit and that abusive video leading to the federal investigation, his arrest, and now his ongoing trial. Over 4 emotional days of testimony, Cassie described in detail the alleged abuse, including physical assaults, threats, and instances of alleged forced sex, which she testified Combs referred to as freak-offs.
Cassie is the heart and the essence of this trial. Without her or the Intercontinental video, there might not be a case here. Her testimony was powerful. It truly showed the elements of sex trafficking. It showed also some of the repercussions or what happens when an individual is allegedly trafficked.
Cassie testified how Combs initially proposed encounters that he called voyeurism, where he would watch me have intercourse and sexual activity with a third party, specifically another man, all within the first year of their relationship. Cassie testifies she continued to participate in freak-offs. I knew it wasn't something.
But is it a crime, though? That's what we trying to figure out here, because his daughter's in the courtroom crying. They can't take it. They're emotionally distraught. They lost their mother already. They want their father. It's looking like he's never coming home because Cassie made the decision to participate in some kinky sex acts with her then boyfriend. So y'all got to let me know in the comment section how y'all feel about this, man. I got so much love for y'all, man. Hit me up on IG. Hit me up on Facebook. Hit that Cash App too. $Shawn Blaze Docs. I got so much love for y'all, man. Yo, I'm going to holler at y'all on my next video.